I'm Shawna Sparks, and today I'm meeting with Terry, who is a professional photographer here in Mount Vernon. So thanks so much for meeting with me, Terry. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So tell me a little bit about how long you've been in business and what made you decide this profession.
I have been in business since the late 90s, actually. I started my career in high school as a photographer for the Mount Vernon News.
Oh.
And that was in 86.
Wow.
86.
Wow.
So
that was 35 years ago.
That's been a long time. So I went through all the arts in the high school, took every art class there was, really fell in love with photography, and ended up going to photography school in Dayton.
Okay.
After graduating high school and getting a degree in commercial photography. So right out of the gate, I was photographing products and people and things with a studio.
Okay.
That was based out of Lewis Center. But then that took me into other realms, and I started doing custom color printing for a lab, and that's where I really learned a lot about the craft, because I would see some people's good negatives and I could see some people's bad negatives, and sometimes I had to really correct stuff by dodging and burning prints and whatever.
Yeah. But
that really taught me exposure and composition and all that. So in 2003 I started my own business, because everything was starting to move toward, it was inching towards a digital realm.
Right.
And some of the labs and things were starting to feel some of that.
Okay.
You know, and I was kind of in that lab business still, so I jumped in both feet, and my first couple years was completely weddings.
Okay.
So I photographed a bunch, and then my second year in business, I had the most weddings ever. I did 35 weddings that year.
Wow.
And some really awesome events. One of which was in the Dominican Republic. I photographed a wedding at the same venue that Michael Jackson and Priscilla Presley were married at.
Okay, that's really cool.
It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But I also was able to go to Jamaica for an event. I did a wedding in Connecticut for a bride that was in New York City.
Nice.
And it was just amazing.
Kind of took you all over the place. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, then, so I also had in my arsenal, I acquired a lab that was in my basement, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
I muscled a big giant processor into the basement from an auction for a commercial studio that went out of business.
Okay.
And I got this $200,000 piece of equipment for $50.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I was printing my own stuff. So all my work was all custom printed. I did black and white, I did color. Everything was printed by me, and it all looked different than everybody else.
Yeah.
And then the digital age got here.
Yep.
So I had to, all that stuff became obsolete.
You had to adapt with the new changes. Yeah.
So photography really evolves, and so all my film cameras, I don't even own a film camera anymore.
Right.
I mean, they all sit, I have a couple that are relics that sit on
that look really cool.
Shelf. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now you're using like drones and stuff for a whole different type of photography that often. So here's some of the toys. Obviously, these look really cool, by the way. So what would some of these be used for? This one, for example, what would a service you would provide with this type of drone?
This drone is it's made for flying real fast, real precise. It has an acrobatic presence to it. I use this to just filmed some real cool low ground passes, chasing cars, chasing people on bikes, and this you can't really fly around people. These props spin so fast.
Yeah.
So you have to be real careful with it. You actually use these goggles.
Yeah, those are super
to fly.
Cool.
So I mean, you look like RoboCop or something with these things on.
Yeah.
But they have these little antennas, everything. You have a controller that you fly these things with. So so this one I have a GoPro Hero 10 mounted to the top of it, and it actually, when it flies like this. So it's at an angle.
Okay.
And then the GoPro is like that.
Okay.
So it's at a real steep angle, and but you can dive it, you can loop it, you can roll it, and you can do anything with it.
And you have full control over it.
It's
the whole time.
Full control. There's you can crash it.
Yeah.
Real easily.
Right. But you have to have a license for that, correct? A pilot's license.
Yeah. So I photograph a lot of real estate, and this is kind of my fun part of my business is the drones. But this one is what I use for most of the real estate stuff, and it connects to like 21 satellites. It's all GPS based.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
So it locks on the satellites, and if I let go of the sticks when I'm flying it, it just stops.
Okay.
And it's like, what do you want me to do?
Right.
So then I can do some neat video with this. I can do some really cool photos. It has a Hasselblad lens attached to it. There's two different lenses with it that I can do some really nice stuff for real estate.
So you can do still shots as well as video.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what
really
I do.
Cool.
That's what I mainly use that for.
Okay.
Is a lot of stills. I do some video with it too. It's real precise, and the range on it is ridiculous. I can take it 9 miles away.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. So
I've never done it, but they say you can.
Right. So a lot of the photos that you're seeing as you're scrolling realtor.com or whatever and you're searching houses in the area, Terry took those photos. So if you're impressed by the images, they're probably his. So that's pretty great. So aside from real estate, and you can do like real life commercials with this drone, like what other types of services do you do? Like senior photos, and what are some other things?
Yes, so I also provide senior photos. I've been doing that for a long time. And some of the images I capture are a little different. I like to use some special effects sometimes in the camera with different ways of creating dramatic lighting and whatever.
Yeah.
But also I do some I provide a lot of headshots.
Okay.
For different businesses. I've worked with several companies in the Mount Vernon area and also in Columbus, and you can see behind us we got a studio.
Yep.
So
you can take this anywhere. He set this up super quick.
Yeah, so I can take this to any office and set it up, and it takes about 35 minutes to get it ready, and then we can do a full photo shoot of office employees or whatever you need.
Yeah, which is a huge convenience to your business, is that we don't have to stop working to get professional photos taken. Like, you come to us, or whatever the business professional is, and set it up right then and there. So as you were setting up here this morning, I'm still working away at my desk. You're setting up, and then could get ready for the photo shoot at that point.
Exactly. That's the whole point, is convenience.
Yeah, that's so great.
So that's what I've been doing for a long time, is offering convenience of taking that to locations. And you can see, it's not a big room.
Yeah, no. Plenty of room in here for what it is that you have, and this is great.
Yeah, and that's a 9-foot background. I also have smaller, if I know it's just going to be single people headshots, just one person at a time, I can bring a 5-foot background, and I've literally photographed in a closet before.
Really?
It's crazy how tight I can
make it work. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I can that's a really cool service, and a lot of people love it, and it just allows, you don't have to have like 10 people coordinate to a studio or something like that. Right. I can bring it to you.
Right. Yeah, and that's super fantastic. And in the world that we're kind of in today, where every minute counts, you know, we're bouncing from Zoom meeting to Zoom meeting or appointment to appointment, you being able to come to the location and being able to help, whether it be one person or 10 people, you're doing a full office of headshots. That's awesome. That's a great added value. So when it comes to different clients that you're working with, do you ever put in some creative ideas on how to make the photos more personalized? Like, I know I've seen some of the really cool photos on your website with senior photos and things like that. So what's one example of something like that?
Well, the one that I think of right off the top of my head is I had a senior who is with the Army National Guard, and he wanted to do a photo that really showed how the military has changed him. Okay. And so we started at Ariel Foundation Park, and we did some really cool shots of him in like regular clothes, and then he was in his military outfit, and we did some neat stuff there with him like saluting the flag and things. But I was like, we just have to do something different. Like, we have to do something really crazy. Yeah. So I had this crazy idea that we would use the tunnel on the bike path at Howard. Okay. And I said, well, what if we created like this vortex of fire? Yeah. And then you're like walking out of it. Yeah, that's so cool. And he was like, what? So I said, just trust me. Yeah. So we went and actually did that, and his dad was the person that spun. I don't want to give away my tricks. No, yeah, don't give it all away. But he what we used, he spun that. Yeah. And it was on fire. Yeah. And he backed up through the tunnel. And the tunnel's all stone, so it wasn't going to hurt anything. Right. But it was all in camera, 20-second exposure with 2 flashes that I used to light the senior in that tunnel. But then that fire just was a long exposure. Yeah, that is so cool. And the end result was incredible. And you wouldn't think it's pretty neat. It's one of my favorite photos I think I've taken for a senior. Right. You know, it's just something that's pretty creative. And he loves it. It's one of his favorite things. I also did a photo of him with like split, like, so one half has his civilian clothes, the other half has his military clothes. Yeah. And that's a pretty neat shot too. And I also created some cards, invitation cards for his graduation ceremony coming up in May. That's awesome. That's really cool. I do have, like, this is an example of like a senior book that I did. I don't know if you can see that, but this is like just some work that I put together for a senior. They wanted something a little bit different, so I did a shoot and then put together a book of images that she really liked. And yeah, this is a really good keepsake. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. So she is actually from Grove City. Okay. And she played basketball for Grove City High School. And so we incorporated some of her stuff. I used some fog and so, like, you know, that's one of my things. I just like doing something off. You know, a friend of mine said, I told him one time, you know, that's pretty cool, you're thinking outside the box. He says, I just realizing there is no box. Right. So absolutely. I try to look at things like that. Yep. No, that's true. I love that. I love that saying for sure. So, but that's an example of something I can do for a senior that's just a little different and a little bit more personable. Right. And then here's an example of just a basic headshot. If you can see that. Yeah. You know, I did photos for the faculty at the Mount Vernon Nazarene University. This is one of the professors. So. Okay. Awesome.
And you do sports photos as well.
I do. So
okay.
I am the photographer for the Mount Vernon Nazarene University athletics, and also Mount Vernon High School and middle school athletics. And we just finished up spring sports. I'm putting together the banners for track, baseball, softball, and volleyball for spring sports. So those will be coming soon.
Yeah. You're pretty busy.
I am very busy, and I love it. I've been at this for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's all I've done. I don't know what else I would do.
Right. And it's given you a really good opportunity to meet different people in the community and really be an active part of the community, which is awesome too. All the different relationships that you've had, and I think you mentioned to me once around the idea of people helping people, right? So just, you're providing a service to them, but you want to make it as convenient for them as possible. And then, so I think that's super great. So if somebody's interested in reaching out to you and using your services, whether they want like a high-speed chase video commercial for TV, or they want real estate photos or senior photos or whatever the case may be, should they go to your website? Should they text you, call you? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Best way to get in touch with me is you can reach me at info@picohio.com, and that's probably the easiest way to get in touch with me. I also have a page on Facebook that I try to help promote Knox County.
Right.
In my spare time, which I don't have much anymore, but I like to go out and photograph just sunsets, sunrises, different things that promote our county.
Right.
And so Picture Knox County on Facebook is my page, and it's just a really neat way that I can serve our community and post photos of different things, and also help promote local businesses as well.
Right. No, that's awesome. And I've actually seen some of those photos, some of your art in like Mount Vernon Brewing Company. They display some local artists and stuff. So great pictures.
Oh, thank you. Yep.
Yeah. So you guys can definitely check that out there too. But there's some really great on the website. There's some really great creative photos that he's done with just different things. So you can definitely check that out too. If you're interested in hiring a photographer in the near future, I highly recommend Terry. He's pretty great. And I mean, look at all these great toys that he does. So if you're thinking, I'm just not sure who the right person to contact for whatever service it is that you're needed, give him a call and he'll be able to tell you, yeah, we can absolutely do that, and this is what it would look like. So thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me and talk with me. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate the opportunity to learn more about your business. It's so cool.
Oh, thank you. This has been awesome. I really appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much.
Yep.
And I'll have all of his contact information below this video, so you can reach out to him, as well as some additional information. He is a local boy, so if you're in Knox County, keep that in mind too. And so any other questions, feel free to reach out to him, but we'll have some more information attached to this video as well.